Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Cody and Rainbow Talk. About stuff. Today we are going to be sharing with you our love story. So I guess we'll just start from the very beginning. Cody and I started dating when we were...
Nope, earlier than that. When did we meet?
Wait, you're right. When did we meet? I guess we have to meet before we can start dating.
I guess.
Okay, so Cody and I met when we were 16 years old, just way babies. We met actually in school, in high school, in a drama production. We were both really involved in theater, and we met in school play.
School musical.
Yeah, school musical. We had actually never seen each other. I'm sure we'd passed each other in the halls, but we'd never,
I heard her name.
You heard my name?
Yeah.
But he thought I looked completely different. He thought I was I don't know, some weird hippie chick. But now you met me and now I am. So the play we were doing was Footloose.
The musical.
The musical. And we met at the beginning of the year, right? Right as school started, we got put into the production, and it was announced that we were doing Footloose, and then we all read through the script and auditioned for our parts, and did we both get the parts we wanted?
No, I auditioned for the lead, but I got second.
You got supporting role.
Supporting
and
male.
I auditioned for...
I was so salty about that.
You're so salty. I auditioned for a supporting role and I got it. And this was actually the first time I ever sang on stage or sang in front of anybody besides my shower head, which is always thoroughly impressed, by the way.
Well, the thing is too, there's two castings of the four main roles.
We had a big class.
So there was two Wrens, two Willards. I was Willard. Two...
Ariels? Ariel?
No.
Isn't it?
It's not the Little Mermaid, Rainbow.
I don't know. What's her name?
The main girl, it's been so long.
And
two Rusties. Yeah. I was mad because the other girl that got cast as Rusty, when I got announced that I was going to be Willard and it was kind of like a love interest thing, I was mad that I didn't get the other girl. I had never talked to Rainbow before. She was too pretty, I thought, to be a nice girl. I thought she was going to be one of the mean high school, the type. So when I saw her, I'm like, ugh, great.
And I also wanted to be cast with the other Willard because I knew him. We had gone to school together and he was just a really funny dude. And I was like, I don't know that weird emo kid. Now let's back up a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Cody was emo.
Oh, so hard.
So black, swishy hair with this red spot in the middle.
Back was all spiked up.
All spiky. Oh, that was even before you spiked it, I think.
No, I spiked it. No, absolutely.
Oh, okay. And I was super preppy and preppy girl.
Yeah.
And it was I was like, I do not want to be cast the weird emo kid who's has an insane, he was constantly on a sugar high in high school. It was just, he was always jumping off walls, and he was this emo kid.
I was also ridiculously flirtatious, you would say. I would bounce around from every girl in the classroom getting back rubs, because I would just sweet talk my way into them.
Playa.
Oh, yeah.
But, okay, in Cody's defense, he's a super, high-touch kind of guy. He likes physical contact all the time. So it was kind of just his weird, adolescent way of getting attention.
Literally addicted to back rubs.
He's addicted to them. Yeah, and then... So there was two castings. We got cast as lovers, and we did not get the roles we wanted, or the partners we wanted. And then we actually went to our teacher and asked if we could switch, and she was like, no.
All four of us.
All four of us.
Both of each, because... Yeah. We all kind of agreed that, oh yeah, it'd be much better if we switched.
And so she was like, no, we're not switching you. It'll be better this way. Blah, blah.
It actually was a lot better that way because I was the better Willard and you were the better Rusty.
Yeah.
And we had the better other two main, so the four best ones were all in the cast together.
Too. Yeah.
So it actually kind of worked out
really well. But so we didn't, and so Cody and I tried to avoid each other at first because eventually we just read through and it didn't matter, and then eventually we had to start reading scripts together, okay, you two are cast together, go off and read a script and work through your lines, and we were like, aww. And we didn't like to, and
I was excited about it because it's oh nice, I gotta go hang out with the hot girl. But I was still like,
You
she's
still-
probably gonna be mean to me, but I still
Yeah.
get to hang out with the hot girl.
He thought I was gonna be a beep, but I wasn't. I was nice. So eventually we started working together. We started talking, hanging out, laughing, and just kind of liking each other, realizing the other one wasn't a weirdo.
I mean, I was a weirdo, but realizing that you could look past
He was
it.
such a nice guy, and he was so funny, and he was like, his energy was contagious. He was like, let's do stuff. And so it was really fun to be around him. And he realized that I wasn't mean, and I was actually really nice. And,
Yeah.
and we were like, how did we never see each other ever before this? It was just...
We had seen each other once before, years before high school.
Oh, this is the funny part. Cody and I lived 3 doors down our entire, growing up.
Not like house.
So it was
but
like-
there's my house, one more house, and then there's
alley,
a blank bit,
an
it goes
alleyway.
on for a while, and then a cul-de-sac, and she was in one of the cul-de-sacs.
I was in the cul-de-sac.
So it's not necessarily 3 doors. I think if I counted, it's like 7.
3 houses.
But I could throw a rock at your house.
Yeah. So it was like, if we're looking at it this way, it was like my house, alleyway, house, Cody's house. And we'd walk past each other to school and back every day, and we never even knew we lived each other.
So before the houses were built behind our houses, there was these giant dirt hills there.
Yeah.
Now this is
Huge. when
years
they were
ago.
Developing houses back here.
This is like years before high
we
school.
were like
even.
10 years old.
And
11?
you and your friends were out playing on the dirt hills.
We played
And
house.
me and my loser self, having just moved
They
to
just
our
moved
town,
here.
had no friends, so I was like riding around on my bike, and I see some kids at the dirt hill, so I'm like kind of like biking on the dirt hill, like kind of going around them, and just being weird.
He was like this white blonde kid too. He was like white blonde until he was like 14.
And like shoulder length hair.
Yeah, and so I remember because I had no idea, and we didn't actually discover that was him until we were just chatting about it one day, like 2 years after we've been together. And
Yeah.
we were like, "What? We met?"
So like you offered, like, hey,
I was like,
kid,
"Hey, do
you
want
want
to
to come
us?"
play? And your friends were like, what are you doing?
He's weird, and I was like, no, I was like, I asked him if he just moved here, and so we invited him to play, and he stuck around and played for a little bit, and then he didn't really. I think we were playing house, and then so he was kind of like, I'm gonna get out of here, and then he went home.
I'm a socially awkward person, so I was just like, nope.
But then, anyway, fast
Back to the story.
forward, back to the story. So we started liking each other, and then it was kind of funny. We'd started hanging out more, and then I developed this really weird, schoolgirl crush. I had never experienced this in my life, where I, had a crush on somebody where, it wouldn't go away. And I was like, what are you doing, Rainbow? What? What? The emo kid? Really? And, I mean, come on, I was only 16 years old, so I was a little bit superficial. We all were, weren't we? And then, I don't know what you thought of me back
You were
then.
hot.
So, he was kind of, hitting on me, and I was, flirting back
Kind
with
of.
him. You were really hitting on me, and I was flirting back with him, and then I was like, what are you doing? And all my friends were like, Rainbow, what are you hanging out with the emo kid for? What? Is there something we should all know? And I was like, no, it's just, strictly performance. And then, I was like, why can't I stop thinking about him?
So then she started avoiding me.
I tried to avoid him.
But that didn't work because I hounded you.
I tried to avoid, I was like, hey, I'm just not going to talk to him. It'll go away. This is ridiculous.
She just wouldn't be looking. I'd sneak up on her and I'd just give her a hug and I'd be like, hey, what's up? And she'd be like, and try and slither away. And I just wouldn't let go.
And then eventually I just couldn't stay away. I was like, there's something, I couldn't help myself, and we started hanging out. Okay, so this kind of sounds bad, but
It's really bad on my part, at least, because I was actually seeing someone else at the time.
I didn't know. I did not know for a while that he
Yeah.
was seeing somebody else. I guess in your defense, he wasn't.
It wasn't a good relationship.
And I mean, he shouldn't have.
I was dating her for maybe 2 years at that point. It was long term, but I was only still kind of there because she was kind of suicidally, and
If he left her.
we half broke up once, and she sliced the crap out of herself. So I'm like,
So he was scared to break up with her.
Guess I gotta stick around.
And so at the point he met me, that's why he was so flirtatious, and he was kind of, I guess, what teenage boys do when they're looking for another person, is because he just didn't really know how to break up with her. And, yeah.
Yeah, but we kind of started seeing each other regardless because I explained the situation.
Yeah, like, so I didn't know about her, and then I kind of did, but I didn't know if they were, like, really, I didn't know how serious they were, or if they were, like, anyway, I don't know. It was the weirdest thing. It was like our minds were not in control, which is, typical, it sounds like typical teenage stuff, but it was like, I don't know. I always say we're just like soulmates. Like, we just got connected in the weirdest ways. We should not have been, like, it's not something that you would have ever pictured us being together, and it just happened, and we just went with it, and it's like, we had no control over what was gonna happen. I don't know.
The way me and Rainbow got together, now this is another terrible story on my part, is the
Oh
night
my God, you're
of...
gonna tell this?
Oh yeah. The night of, it was the, like, winter
The
social
winter-
dance.
The winter formal.
Winter formal, it's called. I told my girlfriend at the time...
Wait. So we had been, like, Cody and I had been kind of like, we weren't, like, I guess...
We weren't, like, doing anything.
We weren't doing anything. Like, we'd sneaking kisses and stuff, and that's about as far as that went, like, hanging out at lunch hours, and, like...
In the every morning, because my house was on her way, like, towards school. Not only would you come pick me up, you'd leave your house like a half hour early.
Mm-hmm.
You'd just walk in my house, come to my room, because I'd still be sleeping, because I got up 5 minutes before I had to leave.
Which his parents really appreciated, because this kid was always late, never came to school, and I was, like, super, like, gotta be on school, like, 15 minutes early at least, and, like, yeah, so I was, like, super punctual, and so I made him come to school on time, and his lates drastically went down, and he was always at school every day. So.
Yeah. So yeah, the dance. So the night of the winter formal, I tell my girlfriend at the time that I'm not going to go. And she says, okay, she's not either. But then my best friend invites me.
Basically, he's been trying to, like, create things to break up with her
I've been trying to distance myself from her, to ease it in, really.
He's been trying to get her to break up with him.
Yeah. So I tell her that I'm not going to go. But then my friend invites me because he has an extra ticket. So then I tell her, all right, I'm going to go. And she's like, are you kidding me? You're going? What? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just, like, my friend invited me. I'm just going to go. So she got furious. Furious. And her and her other friend, and her friend, I'm not using names, so it's just like her, him, her, drive over to my house. And she throws a bag at me and says, I hope Rainbow enjoys that more than I did. No, she didn't know me and Rainbow were seeing each other, but she was in the same class as you, and she hated you because she'd never talked to you, and she thought, like I did, that you were just one of the mean people, and I would always defend you. I'd be like, no, she's a nice girl.
And also, she hated me because the girls I sat around were really mean to her.
Yeah.
I was always the one that was, like, in the middle, like, giving everybody the benefit of the doubt. Like, I don't know, I just got myself surrounded with kind of, like, douchebags, apparently. And they were just not nice. Like, the girls, they weren't my friends, but they were so mean to her, and I always felt so bad. But she hated me because she associated with...
She threw it at me, and she's like, I hope Rainbow enjoys that more than I did. And I'm like, all right, I guess we're broken up then. So I took... Now, this is something funny that me and my friend did. We took the bag of stuffed animals inside his house before we left, sliced them all up.
These are things Cody had given to her over the years.
Sliced them all up, and just, like, sent her a picture, and just like, well, I guess we're broken up now. And that's how that happened. And then the night of the dance, Rainbow was supposed to be there. But she didn't end up going.
I don't think I was allowed or something.
You got grounded or something. Not important. So Rainbow wasn't allowed to go. So I go anyway. Because, like, the whole reason was, like, oh, Rainbow will be there. I'll go. So I go anyway. And my friend, kind of meets, like, a girl there. They start making out. Like, our other friend who went there started making out with another girl. So then it was just, like, me and, like, the third girl in their group. So we just looked at each other and we were like, all right, and we just, like, started making out. So then the dance is over. The next morning, I asked Rainbow to go out with me.
Because it was, like, the Saturday, and we had a rehearsal, like a dress rehearsal or something for our production. And he told me, though.
Yeah.
Like, he was nice. He was like, and...
I'm really sorry, but I totally did this yesterday. do you want to date me? And she still said yes.
I don't know. See, I swear like it was just fate playing a role because it didn't even matter to me. I was just like, somewhere in me, I need to be with him. We're connected. Our souls are linked. So basically we started dating and we did the play and all that kind of stuff. And then we started dating in December.
Yeah.
And we were 16. I moved out of my house when I was like 17. Like, I think a month after we started dating, which was like kind of crazy. I was gone for like a month, like traveling, and it was just very hectic time. And like, I think that's why our relationship matured as much as it did, because we were hit with like a ton of bricks, like for things we had to deal with, and like big adult stuff we had to deal with right away in our relationship. And we basically had to decide, like, do we like each other enough to be in this for the long haul, and like, do we want to make this long term, and are we serious? And we had to make those decisions really quick. We didn't really have a lot of time to play around. So, but good thing was we made the decision that we wanted to stick around with each other. So that summer I moved out on my own, and then I stayed, funny, in my house. I had moved in for like, it was like my second night, and the first night I slept horribly, and so I called Cody. I'm like, can you come over and sleep here because I'm scared, it's lonely, and it's like, ugh. And so he came over.
For a sleepover. And I never left.
And he just never left.
About a week after that first night, I brought my computer over to the house. That was the... when my parents saw me carrying my computer out the door, they're like, are you moving out? I said, I guess. Because I was bringing my computer with me.
Okay,
that was serious business.
Cody's a gamer. If his computer leaves, that he was moving out, and so...
I have to bring it with me if I'm going to be there all the time, so I guess I was just moving out.
Yeah, so we were living...
We just kind of moved in, like...
We moved in together on our own. We had a roommate when we were 17 years old, and
yeah.
he was a year older than me in
grade
school.
Older as well.
A grade older. He's only 3 months older than me, but yeah, he's a grade older, so he was done school, and I was still in school. 8 months after we started dating, and like 2 months after we moved in together, Cody decided to pop the question.
Why not?
Yeah, no, we just knew that we were serious and we loved each other, and we were so comfortable with each other. We knew this was right and it felt right, and we dealt with a lot, and so we knew our relationship could hold strong through a lot of tough stuff.
So it happened at we went camping for
at the end of August.
We went camping August. Was it August long?
No, August long's in the beginning.
Okay, yeah, it was just like a weekend in August, doesn't matter.
We got engaged on the 28th.
We took my parents' camper down to the like campground that we always go to.
Mm-hmm.
We stayed there for like a week. On like the third day in, the way I did it is absolutely terrible.
Oh, it was so cute.
So I'm like stoking the fire. Wait, let me
set this. Just wait, because you were going to make it sound not as cute as it was. It was dark, the stars were out, we were sitting and like cuddling, we were just like drinking Cokes, and it was just so, so cute. And
so I like had the engagement ring like in my back pocket. So I'm leaning over, like tending to the fire, and I'm like, Rainbow, reach my back pocket, please, I need the lighter. She's like, what? Why don't you just like grab it yourself? I'm like, Rainbow, reach into my back pocket.
First
I need the lighter.
I was like, what? I didn't.
No,
hear
and I told you like 3 or 4 times, and you're like, no, just like grab it, Cody. Like your hands aren't even that busy.
And then finally he was like, no, I have a log in my hands. Like I can't. And I was like, okay.
I was like, just grab it. So she reaches into my pocket and pulls out the ring.
I was like, what?
And I turn around and
And he gets down on one knee and he just does this speech under the stars, and he's like, I love you, will you marry me? And I was like, oh my god, yes! First, like, it was really crazy. I was like, I think it was actually quiet. It wasn't like, oh my god, yes. I was like,
no, you were just like,
seriously? Like, really? And so, yeah. So we got engaged when we were 17 years old on August 28th.
Was I? No, I wasn't 18. Was I?
No.
No?
October.
Okay. I guess.
Mm-hmm. After we got engaged, we had planned, the plan was to get married 1 year later, the following August. And then we bought another, we moved out of our roommate, with our roommate, and got our own place.
Yeah.
And that's when we decided, like, I don't know, our relationship grew.
Right when we moved to our new place, we got the 2 dogs, about a month apart.
Yeah.
Because Rainbow was going...
I was working.
Yeah.
And so we got Finn, and he was only a puppy, and we didn't want to leave him alone as a puppy in the house all by himself.
So we got 2 dogs.
So then we got Carly.
Yeah.
And a little fluff ball.
Yeah.
She was so cute.
Looked like a tiny polar bear.
Yeah. And we should say we'd been talking about, like, how we wanted to start a family, and we knew we wanted to start a family, like, as soon as we got married. Basically, like, we wanted kind of like a honeymoon baby.
Start early, done early.
Yeah. And we knew we were ready. Like, we were majorly mature in our relationship and in ourselves. And so Cody was working. He had, like, a full-time job, was paying great. He was working with the same...
Still there.
Yeah, still at the same place. So we knew we wanted to start a family early, and we talked about it, and I was on, like, this new, like, birth control, and so I chatted with my doctor, and she was like, well, if you want to get pregnant, you know, like, you should probably get off, because it takes most people, especially on this new pill, about 6 months to a year to get pregnant. So we were like, perfect, I'll get off in December, and hopefully...
That was, like, the timing we were like, yeah, that timing will work good.
Because that's 6 months before the wedding, and then hopefully we'll have, like, a wedding baby. And,
Day one.
Yeah, first month we started, like, trying or was off birth control. We got pregnant the next month, and we were like, so we were shocked but super happy because she was very much planning it to just be like,
yeah.
I had the worst baby fever ever. I think that's part of the reason we got dogs.
That is the reason we got dogs.
To try and curb it for, like...
You're like, let's just hold off a little, we'll get some dogs, we'll just figure that out, and then we'll have kids.
We like dogs too, so...
Oh, yeah, I love dogs.
Yeah, and then, but it got worse and worse, and then, I don't know, we were really blessed and super fertile, apparently, and we got pregnant right away. And so we decided to keep the wedding as is, because for us, like, our baby was such a huge part of our lives and something we'd wanted so much that it didn't make sense for us to move a wedding because she was so much part of our life already.
So skip to the wedding. We had, like, a really simple, like...
We had an extravagant thing planned, basically.
Rainbow had an extravagant thing planned, and I was like, no!
No, that is not how it happened. It was like, everybody was, like, talking about it. It was like, oh, this and this, and it just got too stressful, so we were like, screw it, we're gonna elope. And then we ended up kind of eloping with our very closest family and friends.
In the park.
In the park. And it was super beautiful and really nice. And then we took everybody camping, like all our friends and more like extended friends and stuff.
To the campsite that I proposed to you at.
Yeah, but like we did it, like we rented like a campground, so we had a whole bunch of people and we just camped for a weekend and we had a good time and did big pig roasts and stuff. Not a pig. Ham. Whatever.
Well, ham is pig.
We ate a large amount of food, and it was super fun, and, so we got married, I was 7 months pregnant, and barefoot on our wedding day, because I kicked off my shoes because they were sinking in the grass, so I got married barefoot and pregnant. So basically, you can pretty much fill in the rest after that. We
continued being together, had a baby, did that for a few years, had another baby, and now we're making this video. Yeah, and now we're making this video on that note. Seriously, every year we just become more and more in love, and our relationship just gets stronger and stronger, and I feel like we're really, really lucky that way, that every single year of marriage is just better and better and better, and it's just really awesome. So yeah, that's our little love story, and thanks for watching. We will see you guys next week. If you have any topics you'd like us to discuss or want to, throw at us, then put them below or on Instagram next Friday or, anywhere else that we'll see it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Bye. Bye. What is it? Isn't it like peace? You got duck face while you do it. Do the ugly selfie. But first, let me take a selfie. Go away. Ouch, Carly. Good luck, guys. I feel like a dry spot on my lip. You get those, like the dry, weird skins? I do. Anytime, hon. Okay. Your breath smells funny. What did you eat? Cola. And ham. Oh. That would be it.